Well, we've got on the line Hilary Leevers, CEO of Engineering UK, and we're going to talk all about T-levels. You know, T-levels, you've heard of them, right? Well, most people haven't, have they, Hilary?
No, sadly not. So we're shouting about them this week. It's tomorrow's Engineers Week this week. So it's a great opportunity for us to make some noise on Shout Radio.
Yeah.
But it is about this new vocational qualification, T levels.
And what actually are T-levels?
So T levels are like the technical equivalent of A levels, but you might take 2 or 3 A levels. You would just take one T level, and it gives you the UCAS points equivalent of 3 A levels. But it's much more employment oriented. So you might choose, and I would highly recommend, an engineering and manufacturing T level. You get a really wide experience of learning about work that you might do across the entire sector. And you're still learning a lot of content, but it's in a really real world context. So employers have worked really closely with government in developing these qualifications to make sure that they're really contemporary and meet their needs. And they include a 45-day work placement. So young people get an opportunity to be in 1 or 2 workplaces, really get hands-on and experience what it would be like. And at the end, they come out with a really good amount of employability skills. And we know that some people who took the first T levels in 2020 have actually ended up staying on with the employers they had those work placements in, working with them or going into apprenticeships. But at the same time, you can do a T level and go into university. They carry the same UCAS points as 3 A levels, and universities will accept them for entry too.
Yeah. And you mentioned apprenticeships there. What's the benefit of doing a T level as opposed to an apprenticeship or a traineeship? Is it just the fact that you have UCAS points and you can do it as maybe an extra subject at school?
Yeah, so you would, if you're doing a T level, you probably wouldn't do anything else. It's the size and value of 3 A levels. It's quite different from an apprenticeship where you're really with an individual employer and they are enabling you to continue to have training and work towards a qualification. Whereas a T level is kind of in between A levels and apprenticeship, where you are taking a qualification and then you get to spend some time in an employment. So the weight of it is learning in an FE college or school. But if you really know where you want to work and what you want to do, and you have an employer who would offer you an apprenticeship, then that would be why you would choose an apprenticeship. And for an apprenticeship, you actually start off with a wage at an earlier point. It's a lower wage when you're in the training point rather than in employment.
And 63% of young people don't know what they are. Whose fault is that?
We've got a long way to go to make sure everybody knows what they are, but they're still pretty new. So they're not fully rolled out. So you could say not everybody needs to know just yet, but I would say they do need to know now. But we're in that point of building up. So more than half of them have rolled out. They started in 2020. There's some digital and design and construction T levels. And then we've got the engineering and manufacturing T level out this year. And then there are a few more still to come. So awareness will grow. And actually the places where you can do them will continue to increase. But they will be rolled out across the nation. And actually other vocational qualifications will then start to be withdrawn because these are meant to be really a very significant route in. But in terms of awareness raising, actually government is now, I think, going for a major push. We really are talking with them about how committed they need to be around that. We're taking opportunities like this to make sure that young people know about them. Also, their teachers and parents, because we know how important they are in influencing young people's decisions.
A lot of employers have never heard of them as well. Is that quite important for them to know about it because they need somewhere to get the work experience?
Yeah, no, that's a brilliant point. And we need them to know for 2 reasons. Number one, actually, they're going to start to have young people apply for roles with T levels on their CVs. So they really need to recognise them and realise they're a very high value qualification. And they should be seizing the opportunity. And those young people be coming through with a lot of knowledge, but actually really ready for employment. But in terms of those 45-day work placements, we really need employers to get quite excited about their opportunity to step up, to give young people an incredible opportunity in life. And this is a generation that have had such a hard time going through education during the pandemic. Actually, we know how many people are concerned about the opportunities they've had. And this is a great way to make a tangible difference. But also employers should be stepping up because this is their future workforce. And as I said, we've already seen that young people transition from T-levels to employment with the same employer, or they may go off and do an apprenticeship, they may go off and do a degree, but they've made that connection and they're helping to build that future workforce. But we really do need employers to play their part, because our estimates are that there'll be more than 40,000 work placements needed by the end of 2025 in the area of engineering, manufacturing, technology, digital.
Wow. And what does the T actually stand for in T-levels?
Technical level qualifications.
Nice.
And that helps everybody remember when you know what the T stands for.
Yeah. And how should a student decide whether or not T-levels are the right choice for them?
Well, I think, so there are two things. There's what education pathway you want, A-levels, T-levels, apprenticeships, other qualifications and paths. And that's really about how you like to learn and at what point you think you want to enter the workplace. So if you want to be more hands-on, go for T-levels, go for apprenticeships. If you really know where you want to go for an apprenticeship, but you can be a bit more exploratory if you're still in the T-level phase, as it were. And then it's about actually what area you're interested in. And this week is Tomorrow's Engineers Week, where we are asking everybody in the sector to share on social media what they're doing in engineering and technology, because we know that most young people have quite a narrow understanding of what those roles are. They span such a broad area from addressing climate change, so being a part of new energy generation, getting the wind turbines rolled out, getting the electric vehicle infrastructure out there, or helping people in health services. It could be in medical diagnostics or designing prosthetics or scaling up vaccinations, and all the way over to things like fashion, looking at new textiles or entertainment, CGI, animatronics. This huge array of careers that are available, and they're showcasing them in Tomorrow's Engineers Week. And if those appeal to you, then definitely take a closer look at those engineering, manufacturing, digital T-levels.
Well, where can we go to find out more information?
Thank you so much for asking. So all of those careers are being showcased right now for Tomorrow's Engineers Week on our hashtag TEWeek22. Or you can find out about T-levels on the government website, tlevels.gov.uk or tlevelinfo.org.uk. That one's got a lot of good information for parents as well, because they need to feel confident in these qualifications too.
Excellent. Well, many thanks for talking to us today. It's been very interesting to have you on.
Thanks very much, Toby.